And from my experience when working with clients, they were just more excited to put out their offers or their services into the world because they're like, yes, this is me. This is me. And I don't care if the algorithm likes me or whatever. And that is magnetic. That is what people attracts, right? When they're like, when you meet someone and you're like, this person, she just she just she just got something.
Welcome to Work It, Live It, Own It, a show that explores how to upgrade your lifestyle through life lessons, real estate, and entrepreneurship. Here's your hostess, SaCola Lehr. Hey guys, I want you to get ready for another empowering episode of Work It, Live It, Own It, where we take a deep dive into the world of entrepreneurship and personal growth. Today, I am thrilled to introduce our special guest today, Jennifer Walter. As a sociologist and rebranding expert, Jennifer brings a wealth of knowledge and experience to the table. In this episode, Jennifer will share her insights on building trust in your brand, navigating the ups and downs of entrepreneurship, which is what this podcast is all about, and finding success on your own terms. Now, her journey, marked by resilience in the face of challenges like pregnancy, the pandemic, health struggles, is both inspiring and enlightening. So, grab your favorite beverage and settle in and prepare to be inspired as we explore the keys of owning your journey and creating a life and business you love. So let's dive in. Welcome to the WLO community, Jennifer.
Thank you so much, SaCola. I'm excited to be here and be a part of the community.
Thank you. And I do have to apologize in advance to my listeners. If you hear this low rumble in the background, it's springtime and homeowners are taking care of their homes right now. So as much as you want to edit an audio in a podcast, it's life, it's real life, right?
I mean, you cannot control most things in life. You just got to roll with the punches.
You got to roll with the punches, guys. So forgiveness is what I'm asking for here today. And imperfection, we are all imperfect. So guess what? Life is life. And I'd rather have neighbors that take good care of their yards and homes. So Jennifer, to dive in and let's focus on you. I want to talk to you about sharing a little bit more of the specific journey and how you got started in your business.
I sort of I kind of like had the classic start into entrepreneurship 8 years ago, where I was like, I'm sick of corporate. Like, I cannot take this any longer. This is this is not fulfilling me. I had the corner office and I had the good job, and I was traveling all around the world for it. And I'm like, this is all nice, but at some point I'm like, what now? Like, and yeah, and I started my own business, and it was ups and downs, rolling with the punches. And dear Lord, if someone would have told me at the beginning with how much of my own personal crap I would need to deal with in terms of boundaries, money, mindset, like all these things, oof, I was not prepared. And yeah, it has provided, I built a business that provided for me and my family through pregnancy, through the pandemic with a newborn, which was fun, through an onset of health issues that all started with the pregnancy. Because who knew that if you have a genetic precondition for autoimmune diseases, pregnancy can actually be one of the triggers. So that was very interesting. And then I ended it took me 2 to 3 years till doctors figured out what all of this is kind of like playing together. And since then I'm living with a diagnosis of endometriosis, adenomyosis, IBS, and celiac. So it's fun. It's peachy around here.
That's a lot.
That's
a lot to deal with on a regular basis. And And
and
amazingly,
also teach me valuable lessons along the way.
yes, yes. Because some of the things that you mentioned, I think when we had chatted before, you and I have some similar conditions. And it's not always a picnic. Some days you have great days
Yes.
and some days you just don't.
Yeah.
And you got to roll with the punches for sure.
Yeah.
S- So, thank you for everything that you do. And starting a business is a courageous thing, and dealing with health and making sure that you are okay in
Yeah.
the best place to help others is phenomenal in what you do. So I applaud you for doing that.
Thank you.
We just have to approach things differently. But Jennifer, to dive in to our topic today about trust and branding. In a world where trust should be paramount, I think it should be one of those most paramount things. How can entrepreneurs cultivate authenticity? And sometimes that word gets thrown around a lot, very loosey goosey authenticity. You must be authentic. But if we're really going to hone on this, how can entrepreneurs actually cultivate trust within their brand?
Yeah, that's such a good question, right? Because it really is one of the key elements, trust, right? I mean,
Hmm.
I'm a sociologist, so this will be, I mean, take take anything I say with that in mind. Like
Okay.
trust is the glue that holds everything together, right? If we
Hmm.
wouldn't trust that the $1 bill is actually worth the $1, like it just everything would collapse. Like it even worse that it's already collapsing. But
Hmm.
it's really it's the one thing that we really have to take care of. And it's such a scarce resource. It's we're just not we're very weary. We're not going around trusting a lot anymore these days. Whether
Right.
that be people or institutions. Like it's just we have seen a lot and we're like, well, we know social media, we know now AI and like deep fakes. Like, is this real? Can I trust this? Is someone catfishing me? Like
Mm.
there are all these things. And it makes it really complicated, or we overcomplicated what it means to trust. So, from a sociological point of view, there is research and knowledge to what kind of like what are the three requirements or pillars, if you want. And one of them is authenticity. The others are empathy and leadership or agency, if you want.
Okay.
And authenticity, yes, it's lately became kind of like a marketing BS bingo word. And it's not necessarily, oh, you have to be authentic or like share your entire life on social. It's not that. Yet at the same time, if you're a small business entrepreneur, your one key strength is you. You are your biggest asset, right? People love to know who they buy from. And if you can do something that the big corporations cannot do, use it. And that is sharing parts of you that you feel comfortable sharing. And that is individual to every one of us, what you feel comfortable sharing and what not. But it's also really about asking yourself, hey, what are my values? What do I want to accomplish with this business I'm doing here? Or what do I believe to be true about this industry I'm in? Or what are my skill set or my story and beliefs that I hold that set me apart? So it's less about, oh, I don't know, I have to like, I don't know, wash my laundry for everyone to see, and more really being like, hey, okay, this is kind of like the purpose. And I always like when I do brand work, I always like to start with that. So, and it involves often a lot of inner work to kind of like get to a point where I'm like, okay, yeah, this is who I am, this is what I want. Because the thing is with branding, yes, I do it. I always say I do it with my clients because I cannot brand your business for you. I cannot tell you who you are and who your business is or supposed to be. I can help you figure it out. But you need to know, you need to have a sense of self and what you want in this world. And the other pillar, I said, are empathy. So you really have to focus. It's really the question of what does help here? What is needed? What do my clients need on every step of the way? So you can build this like trust. I mean, we all have this friend, this very loyal friend who we know offers just always the right thing to say or hands us the right beverage, right? Just all these things.
Yeah.
And the last one is leadership or agency. We if we want to become someone people look up to, not someone who they just value because or she just like I don't know, she's this amazing authentic personality. But we go to people because or we go to brands or to businesses because they solve a problem and because we know they will solve this problem for us, whatever it may be.
Mhm.
So it's not enough to just be seen as the nice girl, but to actually be seen as like, oh, someone with authority, someone with experience. And that requires to whatever degree or how you define it, but to kind of like put on the big girl pants.
Yeah. It does require putting on the big girl pants for sure. And I love how you broke it down as far as building trust. It's not about posting everything on social media. Here's my day in a life.
Yes.
Behind the scenes stuff of what the business is really about, what you're doing, that can be beneficial. Yes.
Sure.
But there's also, you need to have that right balance or collaboration of, okay, this is who I am as a person,
Yes.
as an individual, and
Yes.
this is what I bring into my business. And
Yes.
the core values, your mindset are integral parts of that. And I
Yes.
talked about that before in season 1, episode 13, about how to find what your core values are and then figuring that out, what it looks like in your life and in your business. Because I think so many people just start with, and they think branding is the what? They think the branding is the website. They think it's the logos, it's the
Yeah.
fancy cards. No, that's not what it's about.
Yeah.
It's not what it's about. So thank you for breaking that down. I love how you broke that down. As far as, because some people say, okay, great, Jennifer, that sounds wonderful. That sounds great.
I know I get eye
Thanks.
rolls all the time. Like
Yeah.
SaCola, I'm used to it. Like bring it on.
Mindset, core values. I hear people talk about this all the time.
I know I
So,
get eye rolls.
are there any practical strategies for someone that you would want to share to get started on that journey? Because again, as a brand strategist, you can't tell people what to do or what their business should be, what it should look like. You can guide them. Can you share with us a practical strategy that you may use to help them get started with the branding piece?
One exercise that can be useful if you're really figuring out your whole purpose is Simon Sinek's 7 whys. So you basically ask yourself why 7 times. This can be useful to really gain clarity on your mission and motivations. It doesn't really help you to brand yourself in a traditional sense of what color should I choose or what fonts should I use. Like Simon Sinek will not tell you that.
No.
So that's kind of like one exercise I'm often work with my clients through. And the other is my framework of the North Star memory. So basically, it's branding is in my definition, in my world, it has less to do with websites, but we look at it from like an experience point of view. How do I feel?
Mm-hmm.
How does your brand make me feel? So that's why I also like don't really care about the pain point marketing because I don't want to feel bad if I'm engaging with a brand. I want to feel good. So it's really about what kind of experience am I creating? And that already shows branding can be website, branding can be sense, it can be anything from
Mm-hmm.
colors to touch to feelings, like all the senses.
Mhm.
So what I really like to do work to walk my clients through is the North Star memory. And it's basically asking yourself what specific memory you have that lights you up with joy and inspires you to take action. And this could be anything. It could be certain people you've been with, like a dinner, a night out, like a certain place, or being in the kitchen with your mama making cookies, whatever. As long as it is powerful to you and it gets you like energized and excited. And so with that memory, it's really like what so we're exploring that then. And this has been really the cornerstone of how I build brands because it helps you to make it unique. For example, my North Star memory is I'm sitting on top of my favorite place in County Cork in Ireland on a cliff. And I'm with one of my best friends, and we both have like a cold beverage, and we're talking, and we're just like glazing out over the ocean. And I kind of took this as my like the core theme of how I'm going to brand myself. So from there, I went to I will feel most comfortable and most at peace and joy with like a color palette that goes more into the adventure type. So it has green, it has brown, it has blue in it. I knew I wanted to have something that feels more intimate and also a bit adventurous. So I have kind of like an explorer lingual brand voice, but also again very intimate. I'm not doing like big courses. I mostly do one-on-one work. Like it shaped a lot of things how I see it. And yes, there are a gazillion brand strategists out there, but someone will be like, okay, yes, I get what this is all about,
Mhm.
and I want to work with her.
Right. Because I know a few brand strategists and one I love and trust, but you are the first one that said, think of a memory. You're the first one that did that.
Want to
And
know why it's a memory and not like a vision board or something?
yes, I'm curious. Tell me why.
Because the memory you have lived through,
Mhm.
you have the memory of it in your brain, in your somatic body. You know how you felt, and you want to try to recreate this. The vision, you you will think, I will feel happy when I achieved XYZ, but you don't know. You don't have this embodiment of whatever you want to project into the future. So I rather like to work with memories instead of like vision boards. I mean, I do mood boards with my clients, but that's something different.
Mhm.
But it's really like I feel the vision, for me anyway, it cannot bring me to a to really a point of I'm excited this much and I'm taking action. It's not sustaining me as long as something I have lived through and
Mhm.
want to possibly recreate.
I like that. I like that. Because we all have, we should, I hope, I trust that we have a memory that we like to go back to that
Everyone
takes us.
does.
I'm hoping everyone does.
Yeah.
And someone, have you ever
Yeah.
come across anyone that
Agreed.
says, I don't have a memory, I don't have a great memory of something that was great before?
What did I came ever across one?
Yes. Have you ever come across someone that had difficulty trying to
No.
think of a memory?
No. Well, I mean, when I do that with my clients, I kind of like do a little visualization meditation beforehand. So we're kind of
Mhm.
like getting into the space. But no, it's more of the thing of like, what happens more is people have something and you see it. You see it in their faces that they have something and
Mhm.
they're not really ready to share because they think this isn't big enough or powerful enough, or it's, oh, it was just this one time when I was strolling through the market and I don't know, the birds were singing and it was just like really lovely. And I'm like, yeah, fantastic. But they're like, well, but this isn't like a grand memory.
Okay.
You
So
know,
they're
like
thinking
we,
it's
we
got
already
to be
put this
big.
this ego pressure on ourselves. Like, how can
Mhm.
this possibly define my brand? Like, well, there are a couple of options, right? But it's more of that we feel like, oh, this is not important enough, not grand enough.
Right. Okay.
But all this doesn't matter. It needs to be powerful to you.
Hmm.
When you think of this and it lights you up with joy and inspires you to take action, to go, to do something. That's it.
Hmm.
And I've never came across someone who really was like, I cannot think of one.
Okay. But they just don't think it's grand
That's
enough
more of the case.
to
Yes.
be the brand,
This, yeah,
part of
this
their
is not
brand.
just some silly little stroll, or, oh, I was just like baking cookies with my kid, or I don't know, I was running late and then my grocery bag broke, the bottom broke off, and like everything was like pulling out, and I just started laughing hysterically because life is so weird, and I loved everyone. Like, yes, right?
Hmm.
It's so, I've come across so many beautiful different memories, and it's just interesting, how this thing, and that's the feedback I always got, like, oh, I didn't know this would shape so much of my business. I've shared like it kind of shaped the way I want to work with people. It shaped, I know clients where it shaped, like it really shaped how they did the brand photography, how they were like, oh, actually, I want to work more remote. I don't actually like want to have like this really fixed schedule with client calls. I want to do more like Boxer days or courses, right? It's really kind of like, oh, what do you want to do? Because if it doesn't light you up, if it doesn't excite you, doesn't get you going, I don't think you have the stamina to endure it, because it's a marathon. It's more than a marathon. I don't know. The longest marathon on earth, entrepreneurship. It's not
Hmm.
just a race down the block.
No, it's not. It's never a sprint. It's always a marathon. And I can see why you're saying using a memory can evoke
Hmm.
all these different types of senses, which could then develop into the colors that people start to go to as far as, oh, what are my brand colors? But most importantly is showing your clients and our listeners how your brand could if affect their business and how they want to work with clients, because there's nothing worse than having a business and you're running yourself ragged
Yeah.
all the time because you didn't set this up. You didn't set your business up in a way that was going to work for you so that way
Yeah.
you can continue to thrive and be healthy in your business, because there's no one worse
100%.
to show up in a business and you don't love what you're doing.
Yes.
So, how does that connect to the trust piece? So, once we talked about the senses and everything, how does that translate though into prospective clients or even existing clients trusting you as that person they want to work with?
Good question. So, for one thing, it's an easy differentiator.
Okay.
It will make you stand out. I mean, I had like paid Google Ads experts who did the exercise and infused more of their wedding photographers who infused their love of Japanese anime. Like it will just bring something different to the table.
Hmm.
And in terms of bringing in your ideal clients, it will help you to navigate the whole authenticity part, for one thing. But there is also like this thing of when oh, this is a part of me I feel comfortable sharing, this memory. It's not
Hmm.
like maybe uncomfortable. Like, it's not something uncomfortable. It's something you like and you love, and in my experience, you love to talk about it. It will help you to create content more effortlessly, for example, because you can go back to this and be like, okay, if this is how I want to make people feel, How can I write copy on it, for example? What can I do? How can I structure Instagram posts? So all of this can help you. And if you decide to do social media for your business, for example, you'll need to put out some content or another in one form. So this can help you. And then again, this again will attract clients if you do it consistently. And if you use something like the North Star memory as one of the hooks for your branding, it will help you to be more consistent across all these possible touch points where potential clients could meet you. It would just create a more harmonic view. And last but not least, the energetics behind it are different because
Okay.
we're working with a memory that excites you and that's kind of like draws you in. And from my experience when working with clients, they were just more excited to put out their offers or their services into the world because they're like, yes, this is me.
Mm.
This is me. And I don't care if the algorithm likes me or whatever. And that is magnetic. That is what people attracts, right? When they're like, when you meet someone and you're like, this person, she just she just she just got something. You're like, oh, I want to be like her friend. I just want to be in her orbit. And
Right.
that's what we're kind of trying to create in a way, right? We just want to make like, oh, okay, this people gets it. This person gets it. And we people we're good. We have like a very good sensor that goes beep 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 when we feel something with this person is off. Something is not, we might not be able to name it, but we sense it. So if you really can show up with a brand where you feel this is me, it just changes the game. And it's not to say this is me and I'm for everyone. Like, no. Great brand is like Teflon, right? It repels the ones that you're not like, that not to mend, and it's kind of like, it's, you gotta have both. It's gotta be clear. These are my people, and these are not, and that's okay.
When you said that, it's kind of like having standards. It is like having standards in your personal life, because if you have standards in your personal life and you don't
Yes.
tolerate certain things,
Yes.
then you will automatically repel the people. I used to
Yes.
call it in my early 20s the weak-minded individuals, and I rephrase that a little bit now in my in my current life. But I will wonder why certain people would go to other people and talk to
Yes.
them or approach them and
Yes.
not me. And then when I found out how that person really was, truly was, and I said, no, that was saving me. That was
Yes.
protecting me, because I had certain standards
Yes.
of the type of people I will allow to get
Yes.
close to me. And I didn't tolerate any chaos or mess in my life.
Yes.
So your brand, structuring your brand is so much more in tune to setting up your business for the long haul. And you mentioned something. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So touching on that point, as someone who advocates for moving away from the overnight success narrative, what advice do you have for entrepreneurs who may feel the pressure to hustle constantly in
Mm.
order to succeed?
Mm-hmm. Oh gosh, so many thoughts. First,
Mhm.
I think this idea of overnight success is mostly not only misleading, but it can also be really harmful because you, sure, maybe there's one person out of 1,000 that this really happened. Sure. Okay,
Mhm.
whatever. But most of the cases, it's a combination of privilege in whatever kind of way, right? I mean, if I don't know, if I would start a brand for skinny jeans, I don't know, probably I wouldn't be successful. Or I don't know, right? But it's that, looking at your privilege. And also if you're, let's say if you're a creative and you're an art, you're a painter, and you start to this, you want to start doing wedding photography. You have a head start just in terms of how your mind works than someone who, I don't know, worked on a construction site before and decides to do wedding photography. So there's it's not the same starting line. We start at different places, and I feel the transparency in overnight successes is often in social the transparency is not so there.
Mhm.
And then looking into it, what does success mean? I mean, you have people who, I don't know, talk about how much money they make each month, each year. And then I'm like, well, but what is actually the amount you take home? Right? I mean, I don't care if you have a million revenue, if your ad spend is 900,000. I don't really care. I'm making more money than you do. Right? Like it's just really we're not being precise with which metrics we're comparing.
Mhm.
Some is by design, some is
Right.
just because people don't know better, whatever. But it just really be really careful with overnight success. And it's just really, yeah, it is. And then really look at, okay, if you want to move away from this, to look at, okay, how do we actually define success for ourselves? And that can be very different. And to really be honest of what is my enoughness? Like I personally, I don't right now in the season I'm in, I don't want to lead a team. Not saying you cannot do XYZ money without a team, but I know I'm happy with my one-on-ones. I don't want to do a course. I'm happy. I have great clients. I'm like can walk my kid to school. Whenever I That goes back into you attract the right people. Whenever I have to cancel a call because I don't know, endometriosis is kicking my butt today. Like I can't focus, I can't work, I'm not feeling up to it. I'm making an email, being transparent, saying, look, this thing is happening today. Really sorry, please reschedule. And I never had one person complaining, ever.
Mhm.
They were
Mhm.
all like, sure, girl, you go treat yourself as something fine. Right? So
Yeah.
really look back on what what is yours, does success mean to you? And just kind of like be really honest and rethink your values and be like, hey, this is what I need right now.
Yeah.
And emphasis more on the sustainable bits. Just keep going and things will accumulate, things will build.
Mhm. Thank you for sharing that because that's stuff that I've talked about on this platform before. And I can personally attest to what you're saying because I love the quote or the illustration that we're like popcorn.
Oh,
And I used to be a popcorn connoisseur. I can't eat popcorn anymore for health reasons.
yeah.
But I was a popcorn connoisseur. I
Mhm.
would pop the kernels in the pot the old fashioned way. Had my own little seasoning blend and everything. Don't hand me microwave or no, no, no.
Yeah,
I
feeling
did it
you.
in a pot. But if you guys think about how, or you've seen in the movie theaters for those who have never seen popcorn being popped in a house in a pot. But think about going to a movie theater and you're seeing popcorn being popped. They put the kernels all in at the same time, but the kernels don't pop all at the same time. The kernels pop when they are ready to pop. And then there's some who don't get down to the very bottom and get that heat and the oil that they need to, but they still bud. But if you're patient and you give them a little time, sometimes I would take the pot, empty the top kernels that were ready to come out, put it in a
Mhm.
bowl, then shake it a little bit more so that those kernels will have time to pop. The moral of that illustration is we are all like popcorn kernels. We pop when we're ready. We get all put in the pot sometimes at the same time, but we pop when we are ready. So, having that overnight success that we may hear, like she said, Jennifer, you said it was like a one in 1,000. And then you hear all these success stories about, oh, I was able to generate this amount of money. Guys, I've talked about this before, but now you got Jennifer over here saying it. Okay. So I'm not just sitting up here just talking foolishness. It's real. But then when you go behind closed doors and you pull back the curtain and you actually see that the Wizard of Oz is just an ordinary person, he's not a wizard after all, is because maybe he had a lot of ad dollars he wanted to spend in marketing. And then some of those that I have seen that came along when I came in, I don't see them anymore. I search for them on a platform. I don't see them anymore.
Mhm.
So stop with the comparison piece of, oh, this person came in after me and look at them now. Sometimes, like Jennifer, you mentioned, sometimes it, they may have bigger connections than we do right now. That doesn't mean we won't
Mhm.
have them. I mean, just work with it. Maybe they came from a family. In one episode I just released recently, that happened. This person started a brand and but they did more
Mhm.
research and found out, oh, this person has huge family connections in the
Yeah.
UK and had the money and had all of this to just
Yeah, or there's
launch and go.
generational wealth in the background,
Yeah.
like
So big, but that didn't stop them from still doing what they
yeah,
wanted to do because people will
yeah,
connect with her story, her
yeah.
brand, and what it's about. So to shift a little
But
bit.
maybe sorry, SaCola, to
Yeah.
cut you in there.
No, go ahead.
Let's it's just such a beautiful example of you. I mean, we all have these bad days where we just doom scroll and be like, oh, this person came in after me, and like, look now what she's like showing on TikTok or Instagram or wherever you are.
Mhm.
And that kind of like that envy or jealousy, I
Mhm.
always feel when it pops up, it's telling me something. It's
What is it
telling
telling you?
me something of which of my needs are currently unmet,
Mhm.
whether it's in my business or in my personal life, right? What, like, for example, if I'm feeling jealous that that my best friend already has another boyfriend, or the whole thing, Chip Zero's thing, so she's out of prison and she already like divorced her husband and has another boyfriend, it
Mhm.
might reveal a desire for a more intimacy or connection in my own life. Just really be curious. What unmet need might there be,
Mhm.
or what insecurities are coming up, so we can address them. So I'm always
Okay.
like, oh, this is interesting that I'm feeling jealous now. Now, what does this tell me?
Okay. Yeah, I like that. I like that. It gives you more chance to do some research, to investigate and figure out what is going on. I love that. So, are there any, in your experience as a rebranding expert, what are some, and you touched on some of them already, but are there more common mistakes entrepreneurs make when
Mm,
attempting to refresh their brand?
mm.
And if so, how, well, we make mistakes, but how can we avoid them making those common mistakes when we're trying to refresh our brand?
I'd say the most common ones I've seen are, and there are two. I'd say two big types. One is the you rebrand without knowing it. Really, like you're just getting so inspired and hyped up by the latest Canva template or the latest trends for like, I don't know, peach beige nudes with neon color gradients, and you're like, ooh, I wanted this
Yeah.
too. And it starts slowly, and then one point you're like, wait, what is happening? So, and this starts very unconsciously, just you're like, oh, I just want to want to like switch it up, because
Yes.
I rather do the nice Canva template than actually do like an outreach or sale call or whatever thing I'm trying to avoid. So that's something where you really have to be honest with yourself, like, okay, what are you actually doing? And the other thing is that when there's a you as a person has changed so much that what you're looking at, the reflection that your brand is just no longer aligning. It's just not a match anymore. It might be, yeah, like if you, I don't know, gain if your body shape has changed and you're looking at the clothes and you're like, this doesn't fit me anymore. Or I had so many clothes after pregnancy that weren't, the size was still right, but just the pattern or the colors, and I was like, oh, get it out of my sight. So that's in my experience, a good reason to rebrand. But then what often happens is business owners look at to rebrand for, yeah, to make it more contemporary. Again, maybe trends, or they're like, oh, this client told me that they really like my, I don't know, moody brand photography. So let's do more of that. Like, just giving like the power away. Whereas you should double down on what makes you you, especially when you're rebranding because it feels like it's no longer aligned. So it's just double down on who you are and what makes you stand out, on who you are in this season of life, and then kind of like go from there. So it starts with you. And often people have this like outside in where they're like, oh, this client like that, or this XYZ person I admire is doing this. So let's take a bit of here and a bit of there. And then, I don't know, worst case, you end up with something that still doesn't feel aligned.
Wow. Yeah, we can get distracted from doing the things that actually generate income.
I
I
mean,
am guilty. I am
oh, I
guilty.
mean, I mean, I'm the
So
VP of
guilty.
that club, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah. I need a t-shirt. Cuz I'm guilty. I'm guilty of that as well. So, and we do make
and
those
it's okay.
mistakes. Right. And then, or if we rebrand, sometimes it's like, hey, I rebranded and make this announcement to everybody. Look at my new website. Check out my new website. That's not necessarily refreshing your brand either, just telling everybody.
Well, this is really a lovely example you're bringing because, again, if you're going back to the trust factor, authenticity, empathy, leadership,
Mhm.
empathy, what helps the client here? Well, why should they care? Like, it's the same as like announcing these Instagram story slides of, oh, I wrote a new blog post. Here's the link. Well, good for you, but why should I invest time in reading it? Give me more. Give me a reason that makes me curious enough to make the next step. Not the sale, the end conversion, whatever it might be in your business, but the
Mhm.
next step. Just got to be curious to do the next step, to go off the app to your blog. And from the blog, sign up to your freebie or whatever it is. Go on the sales call. Just always curious enough to get me moving.
Mhm.
And oh, I have a new website. Well, unless like, I don't know, you're Taylor Swift or someone that probably it works. But for me, I don't know, most business I would be like, sure, cool, great for you, but should I care?
Again, for the client is what's in it for them.
Yes.
And you're right. Why should they care? So now, giving your journey
Hmm.
through pregnancy, the pandemic, and health struggles, how do you prioritize self care, maintain a healthy work life situation while pursuing your entrepreneurial dreams?
Um, it's there. There those in those days.
Mm.
It's I don't really believe in the principle of balance as such because I feel it often tends to mess with people's minds more
Right.
because we have this idea of, oh, everything should be balanced all the time.
Right. Oh, that
Everything
we're
should be
imbalanced.
50-50. Yeah.
Yeah, that
And it's
something's
like,
wrong, already wrong with us if we don't have work life balance. Correct.
yes,
Hmm.
thank you, SaCola. And that's just not the case, right? There
Right.
might be seasons where you have to pull a bit more than your partner does, for example, and that's okay. Still, things can still feel balanced. So that's one thing. But I really had to double down on boundaries.
Mm.
And I'm sure this is not the first time you hear this on this podcast. And another big thing for me to ask for help because you need a village. And our times really have eroded this village for most of us.
Mhm.
And we need it. We just need it. We're social beings. And really looking at self-care in a non-negotiable part because I am the biggest asset, the most important asset in my business. If I'm not functioning, my business is ultimate. To one point, it will not be functioning anymore. So I have like I there if I know this thing is is making me feel good about myself, whatever it may be on this day. It might be more of a healthy diet, it might be a hot stone massage, or like a 30-minute walk. I know I gotta need to do this first, because everything else I'll do after it, it will just go smoother. It will go just with more ease. And another, like, the other thing of that, the whole mindset kind of like approach, that is still a tricky bit at times, to realize whatever I'm doing each moment, I'm doing my best. The best I can with the resources I have in each particular moment. And it's so easy. I'm recovering. I'm much better at this than I was like a year or two ago, where I'm like, I don't know, taking a dump on past Jen for the things she did because she didn't know any better. And looking back, it's so easy to do because, of course, now you know, but at the time, you were just doing your best. And this extending this grace and self compassion to yourself, this is really key, because otherwise, you'll always be afraid that future you will like take a dump on you, on past you, and you will be scared and afraid to take action because we know I just did my best. That detachment part, to some extent, is, I feel, a very healthy approach to going with business long term.
Taking care of you ourselves is should be a priority, but
Yes.
we don't always do it. And then when we don't do it, then we beat ourselves up because we didn't do it.
And we should have
So
known better.
we should have known better. So we beat ourselves up. Well, you should have known better to take care of yourself, but you didn't take care of yourself. And then you have that little voice in your brain. It's like, I should get up. I should get some vitamin D. I should go out, go for
Yeah.
that walk. I should
Yeah.
exercise, keep my body moving. I should rest.
Yes.
I should rest. And we don't always do that. So there's only one you, there's only one
Mm.
me. And if our clients don't understand that there's rough days,
Mm-hmm.
there's days where we're not going to be completely on our own our game, and we need to take that time to heal, recuperate, recalibrate, then that
Mm-hmm.
may not be the client for us. But setting those standards from the beginning and letting people
Expectation
know.
management from day one.
Yes, expectation management. I love that phrase. Expectation management from day one is so key, because even when I do
Mm.
consultation calls with real estate clients, I will tell them, if you call me, email me, text me after a certain time, I will respond the following business day after this time.
Yeah.
And you know what I had clients tell me? Said, your cutoff time is too late. You need to bump that up a little earlier. That's what I had clients tell me, you know, because I told
Mm-mm.
them, I said, I'm married. I like to stay that way. And they said, well,
Yeah.
then you need to bump that up a little bit. Okay. Who am I to
Sure.
argue? Sure.
I mean, that's again so funny, right? Because a lot of us left corporate and started entrepreneurship to be your own boss and like, right? Because
Yeah.
we'd rather die by our own sword or something. I don't know.
Right, right,
And
right.
then we are so quickly to give agency away,
Mm.
and it's interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that you said like the expectations clear. It just reminded me when I there was a point when I really was like, oh, I need to have my contracts looked up on by a lawyer just to like know it's like le- legit and good and safe. Like I don't want to mess anything up
Right.
because I'm like responsible now for a kid and my family. Uh, and then he's like, well, where's your contract? It's like pages long. What's the point? Like, you have all these things about I'm not replying on weekends. I'm not replying after 6. I'm not replying blah, da, 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 da. Like, that doesn't need to go in the contract. And well, no, maybe not from a legal point of view, but it surely does because I'm managing expectations. I'm
Mhm.
telling people what I'm here for and what I'm not. And no one can tell me, oh, I didn't know or something else. And it's to a I'm telling them before they're signing up to work with me. So I can, and I always say, look, please read this through. If this is not working for you, no shame, no blame. We'll just part our ways until we maybe meet again.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But this is the standards. These are the non-negotiables. These are the boundaries. Take it or leave it.
Right. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And thank you for reiterating some things that I've already said. I did not bring Jennifer on to this podcast so she can repeat everything I said just to prove that I was right. But it was more so you guys know that I'm not just talking and pulling things out of thin air. But again, guys, setting your standards from the very beginning in your business, knowing in a way, envisioning how you want to see your business and yourself thrive in your business for the long term, not for the short duration, is key. Does that mean that you can't just go out here and launch your idea to the world straight out the gate? No, there's always work behind the scenes that needs to be done. Taking care of your business is also taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
Bottom line. And when you've done that, when you have talked about and done that work on your core values, what it looks like in your business, creating those standards, how your brand not only looks and feels to other people, because it's going to come across through you. You're going to be excited about what you're bringing to the table. And if people don't like it, okay, then they may not be the one for you. But there are billions of people out there. So don't get discouraged if you don't shine at the same time someone else does, especially if they're
If you
in
don't
your
pop
line
at
of
the
work.
same time.
If you don't, hey, you got it now. If you don't pop at the same time, but when it's your turn to pop, you will. And it will feel so good when it does because you did it. In the words of Frank Sinatra, you did it your way, right? You can say, I did it my way. But you did it in a way that feels good for you and for your business. So, Jen, before I let you go, I got 2 rapid fire questions for you. You ready?
Oh, dear Lord.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Fasten your
Hmm.
seatbelts, lady. It's coming.
Buckling up.
What's one piece of advice you wish you had known when you first started your entrepreneurial journey?
It really is. You're always doing your best.
Okay. You're always doing your
And
best.
all the grace and self-compassion that comes with this.
I like that. You sound like my therapist.
Well, great minds think alike. But no, I mean, I'm not saying I have like fully incorporated and embodied this at all
Mm-hmm.
times. No, I do not.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I see the growth in certain areas of my life. And I'm like, thank you, past Jen, for putting in the work because it was messy, it was painful, it was unpleasant. But now I am here and I have no desire to go back.
I got to let that one sit for a little bit. Okay. Have no desire to go back. I love it. Now, guys, we've talked about a lot in this episode. You got another rapid fire question, Jen, so you just hold tight.
Oh
It's
no, I
coming.
was like, whoa, oh, she
No,
forgot
you're
the
not
second
off the
one.
hook. You're not off the hook. You're not off the hook. Nice try. But, guys, so much, Jennifer has shared so much wisdom and insight in this particular episode. Let me know what your biggest takeaway was from this episode. Send me a direct message on Instagram. Let me know what resonated with you about this particular episode. What was the biggest takeaway from you? What you plan on incorporating in your life and in your business? Head on over to Work It, Live It, Own It on Instagram and send me a direct message. Now, Jen, last question. You ready? Outside of your personal life, what's a hobby or interest that brings you joy and helps you recharge your batteries?
I one way of recharging my batteries is I love to play the Irish fiddle, the Irish violin, like traditional Irish tunes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so bad at it. Like I'm so bad at it, but I love it dearly. And it brings me so much joy.
Okay. It recharges your batteries and it brings you so much
Mhm.
joy.
Yes.
All right.
But I'm
That's
not
the main
I'm
thing.
not a joy to listen to.
Yeah, no.
But that's not the point. I don't care.
Exactly. It's not
I
the
don't care.
point.
I just literally love playing it.
She's like, I'm not good at it, but I love it and it brings me
And
joy.
I'm not good at it and I love it. Like it's yeah,
We have
I
we have those
redefined
things.
success there again on my own terms.
There you go. Okay, see, you just taught your own self what you help your clients with. All right, guys.
Always. You always walk the talk.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. All right, guys. This wraps it up for this particular episode of Work It, Live It, Own It. This has truly been a phenomenal conversation with Jennifer Walter. And Jen, is there a way for those who are interested in refreshing their brand or getting their brand off the ground? What is one of the best ways for them to stay in touch with you?
One of the best things to get to know more about me would be my website, jenniferwalter.me, or my socials, Instagram or TikTok on both. It's Jennifer Walter on both. And to kind of like get more an idea of like the questions you might get asked, I can encourage you to listen to the Scenic Route podcast, where we also like have these all these types of questions that you might not necessarily want to hear or answer, but they're good for you long term.
All righty. So this wraps it up for this particular episode of Work It, Live It, Own It. Don't forget to keep dreaming, keep pursuing, but most importantly, keep working it, living it, and owning it in your everyday lives, guys. Take care.